Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. My name's Emily and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this beautiful, delicious lemon tart. It has a sweet shortcrust pastry and a tart lemon curd filling. Great for any summer occasion because it really shows off these beautiful fruits and berries that are just coming into season. So let's get started. For today's recipe, you're going to need 100 grams or 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, 250 grams or 1 3/4 to 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of milk, 4 ounces of unsalted butter cold, 4 large eggs and 4 large egg yolks, vanilla, kosher salt, lemon zest, 1 cup of lemon juice, 1 cup of white sugar, 6 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter, and optional berries as a topping. We're going to start off this recipe by making our pastry. So into our sieve and our bowl, we're going to add our flour and our powdered sugar. I'm just going to sift that into your bowl. This is the reason we sift. There are these big chunks right here that won't go through, so you're just going to discard those. And we're going to move on by adding a little bit of lemon zest. Just going to add like a little bit of brightness to our dough. Little pinch of salt, our vanilla extract. I always just eyeball this, just like a little drop. It's good enough. And our 4 ounces of cold butter. The reason you want it to be super cold is because when it hits the oven, the little flakes of butter that have been combined in there release some steam, and that's what gives you those really flaky pastry crust. So we're just gonna rub the butter between our fingers, trying not to mess with it too much, trying not to melt it too much. We're just trying to make a nice crumbly mixture. Now the technique to mixing the butter in is just use your fingers and kind of do a little pinching and rubbing motion. And don't touch one spot too much at one time. Just keep your fingers moving through the dough and you'll end up with a nice flaky crust and no soggy bottoms, as Mary would say. Anyone else watch Great British Baking Show? I love it. I literally binge watch it in probably 2 days every time a new season comes out. Alright, so my butter has been fully incorporated and this is the texture you're looking for. Kind of just like a crumbly sand texture. And it already smells really delicious. I think it's because of that added lemon zest. So now, we're going to continue on. We're going to add our milk. We're going to add 2 egg yolks. 1 and 2. I'm also going to add in a little bit more vanilla at this point because I don't think I added enough before. So right now I'm just using a fork and bringing the dough together until it forms a little ball, and then we're going to pack it up and put it in the fridge. So be patient, just keep working it. I'm using a fork because I don't want to continue to use the heat of my hands because I don't want to continue to melt the butter. But as soon as you get a rough ball shape, just use your hands, press the remaining bits together, grab everything in your bowl. Wow, I really made a mess of my counter, didn't I? Alright, we're just going to wrap this up in cling film and we're going to let it rest for 30 minutes to an hour in the fridge just to let the gluten relax and also to chill the dough before it goes into the oven. Just plop it onto your cling film, give it a nice wrap. I like to kind of pre-form it into a little bit of a circular shape so it's easier to roll out. Close it up and it's ready for the fridge. Alright, so our pastry has fully chilled and now it's time to roll it out. So I'm just going to lightly dust my work surface with some flour and we're going to roll this out. Alright, so you're going to give it a few little presses and then you'll start to feel it give a little bit. Now one little trick I learned when taking a course on croissants is that when you're rolling out any kind of dough, you don't want to roll over the end of the dough because then the ends of the dough will kind of taper off and you'll have a thinner dough at the ends. So you always want to roll just up to the edges and then come right back. Try to keep it as even as you can in a circle. Alright, I'd say I'd roll this to about 1/8 of an inch thickness, and it just basically has to be big enough to fit into your pie mold. Now, I'm just going to take the end of the pie dough, drape it over, give it a little roll, picking up all the pie dough when you go. That rhymed. Pie dough when you go. And you're just going to drape it right back over. So don't worry if it has these little cracks, just push the pastry right back together. So now I'm just pressing it into the edges of the pan so it has a nice little shape to it. Being very delicate as I work. I haven't baked a pie in a while, it's really fun. Just go ahead and trim away the excess. I like leaving a little bit of a rim because sometimes the dough itself shrinks in the oven and the sides completely fall down and the tart is no longer big enough to hold all your filling. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of an edge, and then when it comes out of the oven fresh, we're going to throw a rolling pin right over the top, or you can also use a knife to cut around the edges just to trim that top so it's nice and clean. Alright, so this is a crucial step. You're going to want to poke holes with a fork all over the bottom of the crust so that when it's in the oven, it doesn't rise up and form a giant bubble in the middle. Right here I have a piece of parchment paper, and I've just crinkled it up so it forms better into my mold. And I have some dry beans here also to act as a weight. You can also use rice, you can use their pie filler beans, I think they're called. You can buy at your local shop where you buy baking items. Anyway, you're going to press the beans or the rice or whatever you're using into all the corners, and this will just help weight down your pie crust as it cooks. Alright, our pie is ready to be put in the oven at 350 degrees for 10 minutes, and then we're going to remove these pie beans and bake it for an additional 5 minutes. Essentially what we're doing here is blind baking this pastry crust so that when we put the custard in later, the pie crust doesn't come out all soggy and gross. Alright, so our pie is in the oven, and I have this extra pie dough. Well, I throw perfectly good pie dough away, so I'm just going to roll it out the same way. Just going to remove it. Oh no, I forgot a flour. Don't forget to flour your workspace. So again, same process. Alright, so I'm going to do a little experiment and see if this particular dough recipe sags down in the middle. So we're just going to take a rolling pin, roll over the top of this pie dough, and the excess will release right off. And we will see if the sides of this collapse while baking, or if they stay firm, if we can just bake it like this. Oh, I forgot to poke holes. Do not come at me. I forgot to poke holes. Alright, in it goes now. So it's been 10 minutes. We're just gonna remove our beans. So we're gonna put it back in the oven for another 5 minutes. Our pie crust has finished baking, and now I'm just going to roll my little rolling pin over the top just to get rid of all that extra crust that we don't need. See, it just falls right off, just like that. And actually, these small ones didn't shrink very much at all. So I think for this recipe, no need to leave that a little extra, just cut it off right in the beginning. So now I'm just gonna set my pie crust over to the side to cool down. It's time to start on our custard. And I have my 1 cup of lemon juice here, and I'm just gonna start to heat it over a medium-low flame. You're gonna want to bring it up to a simmer, but not quite a boil. And my lemon mixture is heating up, and now I have my 2 remaining egg yolks and 4 eggs, and we're just gonna whisk them. And now I'm just gonna add my sugar into my eggs. So our egg and sugar mixture is all combined. And if you guys want to meet me over this way, we'll finish our custard. My lemon mixture has reached a simmer, and I'm just going to pour it into my egg mixture while whisking constantly because you don't want the eggs to scramble. So in a slow, constant stream, you're just going to whisk in hot lemon liquid. All right, now that our liquids have been combined, we're going to return it to the heat. Turn it back on medium-low and continue to whisk. You're gonna do this for about 3 to 5 minutes or until it starts to thicken. Okay, so you know your mixture is done when it looks thick and also it starts to bubble like this. So you're just gonna turn it off the heat. And one other way to check is if you dip your spoon in and you run your finger through and it leaves a clean line. Now we're just gonna add this to our bowl over here. And we're gonna start to whisk in 1 piece of butter at a time. All right, and when you see that all your butter has melted, you're just gonna add in a pinch of salt, a little bit of lemon zest, and some vanilla extract. We're gonna strain this through a fine mesh sieve, just so we can get out any clumps in case some of the egg may have curdled. Just realized I made the mistake of adding the lemon zest before I strained and also the salt. So I'm just gonna add that right back into here since it got caught in the strainer. A little bit of lemon. I'm just gonna add my mixture into my pastry case. Now I'm just gonna pop these back in the oven at 350 degrees for another 5 minutes, just until they set. My tart is out of the oven and it smells delicious. It took a little bit longer to cook than I thought. The large pie took about 20 minutes and the 2 smaller took about 10. Basically what you're looking for when you're looking to see how done it is you give the pan a little shake, and if the middle jiggles but the outside stays pretty firm, you know it's done. Alright, so all that's left to do now is to stick my tart in the fridge to cool down for a little while, and then we're gonna get to decorating. We've made it to my favorite part of the video. I absolutely love to put my creativity into everything I bake. So I've grabbed here some berries, some powdered sugar, I have some leftover lemon zest, and I'm just gonna plate it up all cute. Alright guys, so here it is, and I guess all that's left to do is dig in. Oh, wow. It cut through like butter. Wow, now look at that. I hope I don't drop it. Alright, here we go. You get that instant hit from the lemon. And then you get that nice buttery crust. It is so good. If you love tart things, this is absolutely delicious. I just love lemon. Wow. Okay, stop eating. This is definitely my favorite lemon tart recipe of all time. I love how sour it is, but like I said, that's not quite your thing if you like things more sweet. Just lower the amount of juice. You don't have to convert everything else, just simply change the amount of juice in there.
Like this?
Yes, like that.
Like a gobble monster? Like this? And you pull like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like that. Tell me.
Honestly?
Yeah.
No BS, huh?
No.
I think it's better.
Oh, you're so cute. Thank you.
It's so good. And so tart. I love it. On point, maybe.
Thank you. Jonathan, what are you doing?
What?
You did not.
Ow.
God,
I don't know why I did that, because I had the fork right here.
Here, if you want the whole tart, just take a little one. Do I not feed you or something?
No, actually I didn't today. That's because you've been doing this video. How? Okay. That's really good. I wish I could send that to my mother. She loves lemon tarts.
Alright everybody, that's it for this recipe. I hope you love it. If you do, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Also, comment down below what kind of recipes you'd like me to try next. And as always, thanks for watching. Bisous!
Zooby zooby zoo. Zooby zooby zoo. Zooby zooby. bisous, bisous, zou, bisous, zou, bisous. Mon Dieu, qu'ils sont doux.
I just want another spice.
Okay.